The Yankees are dirty, stinking, cheating liars. The Braves have no balls. And a lot of guys could be moved next week. All that on this edition of Closers. What is going on, everybody? It's my favorite time of the year. We are 1 week out from the trade deadline. And here to discuss it with me is my boy, Mr. 69, former closer for the Seattle Mariners, David Ardsma. Yay, what is going on, buddy?
Still out at the golf course. Oh, it's like 100 degrees out. It's hot. I'm frustrated. I want to be back in my office, James. Give me back in my office.
You know what? I'm going to give your wife a call and tell her, hey, how about you take DZ to play golf? DA has business to do.
She's got business to do too. So she's training people. She's got stuff. She's busy. God.
Then I got nothing for you, pal. All right, so we intended on starting the show and going right into the trade deadline, but you brought to my attention some stuff that was very, very cool, and I wanted to discuss with you. So I want to take a look at this little video from John Boy, and you tell me what you see. Alex, bring up the video.
On second base, that is so funny. Just straight up peeking. Hey, man, how are you holding that ball? Let me see. Anything I can pick up? Yeah, it's a splitter. And Volpe takes the ball low. Now, that reaction time is very quick. I mean, he's looking at his fingers on the ball. He's knowing, yeah, I see. It's a splitter. And Volpe has from here to there to look, then refine the ball, and then no, don't swing if it's low because it's going to drop. In live time, it's bam, pitch, down. Jazz being very obvious about it. Snit's like, oh boy, okay, 3-1, so it's a fastball count. Jazz on second. He says fastball, fastball, fastball. That is too good. That is if you don't watch a lot of baseball, when the pitchers warm up and they want to tell the pitcher what's coming, this is the hand motion for it's fastball. And he lets them know it's fastball. Volpe puts good wood on it. Fastball, top of the zone, 3-1 pitch. So it's going to be a fastball anyway. Caught at the track, but a run does score. Now, Yankees are being very, very open what we're doing. We're looking in your glove. So here's both shots. Here's what he's seeing. You can kind of see the fingernail on the glove there, and Jazz is looking, and he's able to see because that guy isn't hiding his hand at all, Montero for the Braves, and Jazz is able to see the grip and give the signal. And the next pitch, he's able to see the grip on the ball. Are the fingers split? Are they together? Is it forcing him? And he's able to give the signal. The Yankees have decided that rather than be really sneaky about it, the Yankees have decided, no, we'll just be very transparent. We're looking at your hand. There's nothing crazy sneaky here. You want to solve this, you can. Hide your grip. Well, the Braves, I don't know who this is on the Braves. The pitching coach, I highlighted him in yellow. You can see him. He's watching it.
All right, Alex, you can stop.
And you can see him. He gets upset with it.
David, give me your immediate reaction.
So there's a couple things I just want to finish. I want to make sure we get back to that. Who they go to is, oh my God, James. I totally forgot who is Eddie.
Eddie Perez.
Eddie Perez. I keep saying Eddie. Well, keep thinking Lopez. I know it's not Lopez. Eddie Perez. He was my bullpen coach when I was with the Braves, and now I think he's a bench coach or he's on the staff, but in the dugout now, not in the bullpen. Incredible guy. Catcher was the catcher on the World Series winning Braves team. Been a part of their staff forever. Okay, so that's when they go to. So we will bring it back to that. Jazz Chisholm is being so obvious, just like John Boy talked about. And I want to give him credit for the video. Thank you. That's awesome video. A good breakdown too. The Yankees are being so obvious about this. It's Jazz is being too obvious. So obvious. The first sign when he gives the split sign, yeah, that was very late. It's hard. It's as a hitter in the box. You're looking at the pitcher. You're looking for some crazy movement behind you. You see it. He might have even taken the pitch just out of his brain clicking to now know because he saw movement versus actually recognizing that that's the split movement. Don't swing at it, or off speed movement. Don't swing at it. It might have been just more of like, I saw something, I'm not going to swing because I just saw something, versus actually knowing what he's doing. But very clearly, Jazz is looking in, giving the fastball sign to him incredibly clearly, and he puts a very, very good swing on that ball. Just missed it, got under a little bit. It's not cheating. It is completely fine. This has been part of baseball forever and ever and ever. But when you're this obvious, and when you are doing it, it's kind of like card counting. It's not necessarily illegal, but the house has to stop it. The Yankees are doing it so obvious. They did this to Anthony Munoz with the Mariners. They're doing it now to the Braves. If it's that obvious, my answer to this is do something about it. This pisses me off. The fact that these teams, the Mariners didn't do crap about it. The Braves aren't doing shit about it. When they go back to Eddie Perez. See, in my brain, I don't know why it's Lopez. Eddie Perez, when they go back to him, he even tells Jazz Chisholm as he's at third base that we're going to put one in your rib, we're going to hit you in the head, and Jazz just kind of blows him off, whatever. It should have stopped the moment he was looking in. What has to happen here, it's not in the day, it's a bases loaded situation, so you can't just hit the guy and then walk over and let him know what you did. You have to call timeout, walk over to Jazz and grab him by the goddamn shirt and shake his ass and let him know. The catcher should have gotten up and walked straight across the field and punched him in the nose. If it's that obvious, what he is doing is so obvious. When you're standing there and you're looking in and then giving signs, change your sign, change how you're holding the ball. 1, 2, the second baseman, the shortstop. Volpe need or not Volpe, but the shortstop for the Braves need to walk over, grab him by the back of the shirt, and yank his. Sorry, I even did this my computer. Yank him down to the ground and treat him like a little child.
Ragdoll.
Yes, treat him like a little just split his nose open. This needs to happen. And they talk about hitting him in the head. Well, guess what they did? He came up in the ninth inning. They didn't hit him in the head. He came up the next day. They didn't do shit, James. This is what's the problem with baseball. This is the problem with baseball right now, is that you have somebody so clearly taking advantage and stealing signs, screaming it. And the Yankees have done this multiple times, and nobody is doing anything about it. Major League Baseball. This is not Major League Baseball. This is Eddie. Oh my God, Eddie Perez. Yes, should have walked out of that dugout and grabbed him by the shirt, gotten fined, gotten suspended, whatever, and set a tone. Should have walked over to Aaron Boone and punched him in the nose and said, "Aaron, you've solved this problem." Old school baseball wouldn't have given a shit that it was bases loaded. Would have hit the guy in the head or hit the guy in the side. Maybe in the 70s it would have been in the head. Hit him in the side and then walked over and punched Jazz in the face and said, figure it out. So I heard a great interview. I forgot who it was. Someone, they're like rookie year and they had to set a tone and hit somebody. And it was Albert Bell. And that first bat, dude, Albert Bell. Oh my God. Out of hitting everybody, the scariest man in baseball. He hits him. Albert looks like he's going to kill him. Walks out, looks like he's going to kill him, goes to first base. Inning gets done. He walks straight into the dugout and grabs the guy who is the problem and throws him up against the wall.
Yep.
Solved it right there. The fact that we're letting this happen, this pisses me off more than anything else. You could pimp home runs. You can be Trevor Bauer. This bothers me more than Trevor Bauer because this goes to the core of the game and the core of these players that are so scared to do something about this. They're scared to get suspended. Who cares? Just walk over and punch. Get suspended. You will be a hero. You want to be a Braves hero for life? Walk over there and punch him. Walk over there, get in his face. Be the shortstop who pulls him aside and throws him around a little bit. Start a bench scoring brawl and solve it. And if he does it again, do it again. If he does it again, go to his teammate and do it. And go punch somebody else in the face. Go to Aaron Judge and get 5 guys and try to jump Aaron Judge and say, this is Jazz's fault, and we're doing this to you because of Jazz. This is what baseball would have done. They would have hit the batter hitting and said, if you want to solve, like, I will keep hitting guys and keep giving up runs if you don't solve this. And they would have gotten solved. Aaron Boone would have solved it. Judge would have solved it. And this is back in the day. Like, this bothers me so much about baseball. Freddie Freeman would have solved this problem. This is the type of players that you need on your team.
David, I want you to visualize something for me for a second. I want you to close your eyes. I want you to pretend that it's 1998.
Yes.
And instead of the Braves, it's the Red Sox, and you have Pedro on the mound.
Oh,
what would have happened?
He would have sent a fastball right at your nose and then turned around and started walking to second base with that.
He would have drilled Judge in the head.
He would have, with that little finger, walking right to second base, and then would have turned around back to Judge and said, "That's his fault. That's for him.
Yep,
I hit you for him." And if Judge wouldn't have given, like, "Hey, all right, I got it," if you wouldn't have given that, he would have hit the next guy and gone right back to Judge and that was for him, and then gotten to that guy, that's for him. Like, do something about it. That's why you hit guys. You didn't hit guys to necessarily get the guy. You hit guys to send a message. Like, I've had to do it. I will own the very first time in my rookie, when I'm 21 or whatever, with the I was gonna say Mariners, but when I was like 21 with the Giants in AAA, and I had to hit the biggest guy in AAA history, and I was scared. I was 100% scared. I didn't understand how important it is to hit that guy. And what would have actually happened if I would have hit him? He wouldn't have come out to try to beat me up. He knew it. He knew he was going to get hit. I just didn't hit him. So, like, those guys will sit there and go, all right, and they will solve the problem with their team. You want the biggest guy at the plate because they also know they don't want to get hit. They want to hit a home run. They don't want to get hit. They want to go pad their stats. They want to go win baseball games. Solve the problem old school way. God, this pisses me off.
And this is when guys like you, me, and older guys talk about why the game has changed for the worse. It has been wussified. You can't take out the catcher at home. You can't slide in and take out the second baseman. And I understand you want to avoid injuries. I get it. But that was part of a game for a reason. There was a book years ago, about 25 years ago, called The Rules, The Unwritten Rules of Baseball. They also had The Unwritten Rules of Hockey. And they talk about those types of things, like, hey, you're stealing signs, you're going to get hit in the head. And that's why hockey, to this day, for people who aren't hockey fans and they wonder, why do they allow fighting in hockey? It's so that crap like that doesn't happen. If you take liberties, you're going to get your ass handed to you. And the same should happen in baseball. And I miss Pedro. I miss Nolan Ryan. I miss guys with balls. Quite frankly,
Roger Clemens would have done it right. Roger Clemens went psycho and threw a bat at Piazza. I mean, these guys, you were just hot different, but the thing was, it was every man on that roster would have done it. Every guy in that pitching staff would have done it. It was just how you were raised. I was told to hit somebody. I waited 2 hitters, got somebody, but then was kind of told by somebody like, hey, you got to get that first guy. Get the first guy, solve the problem. And when I went to the Mets, David Wright was getting hit, got hit in the head. And like when I walked in the dugout, John Buck, I said, John, who are we getting? He goes, the first effing guy. It was Ian Desmond. And so when I was with the Cardinals and this stuff changed, I was in AAA, a couple of our guys got hit. The other team kept throwing inside and knocking our guys down. Only one guy got hit, but like a bunch of guys were getting knocked down. They're on the ground cleaning off their uniform. And I told the relievers, I said, whoever's the first man out of here, you have to get somebody. Well, that started a 15-minute conversation about the ethics of baseball and why we shouldn't be getting somebody and how might get thrown out of the game, or the front office might not like it, or you know what, their job isn't to hit guys, like their job is to pitch, and yada yada yada. But it's a shift in baseball and the mindset. And I'll never forget, years later, I talked to one of those pitchers, and he told me, he goes, my bad. He goes, like I learned, and I had to learn though in the big leagues how much it matters and why it matters. He goes, I'm sorry, I didn't listen to you back then. And so it's been a shift in baseball though, where like it was just part of the game. You don't even get to pitch inside consistently on our guys. Now, apparently, you can stand at second base, freely give signs and no one does anything about it except for talk. Like that's Eddie Perez. Like, I get it. I love it. But then like get your pitcher to do something about it. I guarantee you, Snideker or somebody in that dugout said, no, don't do it. Like, we'll just win the game. Winning the game's not good enough because the Yankees won, I think, the next night. You have to set a tone that we're not okay with this. But that also sets a tone across the league that I know to the Braves, I can't do this. But right now, if I'm playing the Braves, I'm looking at that going, go steal the signs, dude. No, they're not going to do anything about it. If I'm playing the Mariners, go steal Munoz's signs. Go steal their pitches. They're not going to do anything about it.
Well, you said it. It was the way they were taught, the way that they're raised through their minors going into Major League Baseball. And if you want to be taught the right way, if you want to hit guys when they act like jerks, there's only one place to go. And where is that place, David Arzma?
I won't tell you to hit anybody, but I'll tell you how to deliver a pitch through their ribs effectively in the best way you absolutely can. That's Top Velocity Pro. Check it out on the socials, Top Velocity Pro, topvelocitypro.com. Hit me up. We can do this remotely. We can do it in person. We can do it every way possible. I have all the data you could possibly want. We have proprietary analytics that can get you to be the best pitcher or best thrower of ribs that you ever could possibly be.
Or the head, depending on who the player is.
No. I'd never advocate for the head. I said the head, but like that would have happened. I definitely don't teach to the head.
All right. There's some players that I can think about if they ever got into the box, I'd want to hit them in the head. But I digress. There are certain people that are quite litigious, so we will not mention them by name. Okay, here we go. My favorite part of the year now. We are going to be talking about who could be traded next week. And I have no idea where anybody's going. Excuse me. So before we start talking about the guys who could be on the move, I just want to talk a little bit about how stupid it is that the trade deadline is on July 31st of every year instead of in August. David, do you agree with me? Do you think it's a way too early now that there's no waiver trade deadline?
Yeah, I was about to say, why do you think it's so early? Like, I agree with you because there is no waiver trade deadline, because we've created more, I guess we're attempted parity in more playoff teams. So more teams have the opportunity to make the playoffs. Then we're sitting there and looking at this and saying, if you have more teams that are completely all involved in this later, you're going to have less teams that are actually willing to trade, less teams that are willing to move. Like, why would I trade for or trade away players when I can squeak into the playoffs? And that's kind of an issue that they have created that has stopped a lot of this trade deadline. I think Major League Baseball is probably much more worried about getting teams into the playoffs and getting that revenue than they are about trades, right? Major League Baseball probably doesn't really care, but it creates energy, it creates excitement, and creates better teams. So to me, I think the smartest thing, and this was one of your ideas, move the trade deadline back. Yeah. Let's start there. Move the trade deadline back. Let's let some of these teams fall out, or let some of these teams kind of cement that they actually are in it, and then make moves. Maybe what you do is you do a couple different trade deadlines, and maybe if you trade earlier, there's a little bit more incentives to do that, or if you trade later, you there's less incentives maybe, or something. Because like we're at the stalemate of the season, like a lot of exciting teams, a lot of exciting baseball, but the trade deadline is in this weird spot now that they've created the playoffs the way they have. Their teams don't want to necessarily move. Like, why should I give up as much when I don't need as much to get to the playoffs? And we used to look at it and say we needed the Yankees need a third baseman to make the playoffs, but right now they don't. They'll make the playoffs. They just need it to win the World Series. But a lot of teams are like, why would I do that when making the playoffs is good enough and I'm in?
Yeah. I don't know if you need to make different trade deadlines. I think you just need to move it back. And to me, August 21st, 3 weeks later, makes the most sense. You don't need it to be right there in the beginning of September when you have September call-ups and some teams are out of it and you don't know what's going on. But August 21st, you wait 3 more weeks, you're going to get rid of some of the junk teams that are currently in a position where they could make the playoffs if everything went right. I'll give you a perfect example. The Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Is there any reason right now
Los
for
Angeles
them?
Angels of Orange County, Southern LA, and Anaheim. At Disneyland. You got to
Yes,
make
and
sure
Disneyland.
Disneyland's in there.
But is there any reason for them to believe that they are buyers right now at the deadline? They're 4.5 or 4 games out right now. They have a very young team. There's really no reason for them to go crazy to try to make the playoffs when they're not good enough to make the World Series. So why don't you just trade away some guys and build for the future? It's not necessary for you to go after it right now when there's really no chance of you really making the playoffs or doing anything if you.
So if I'm
I don't know.
looking at this, if I'm looking at their team, sorry, I kind of skipped there. I didn't realize you were still talking. Didn't mean to cut you off. But like, yes, they're close enough, but they're far enough. It's starting to get into a spot of like, okay, Taylor Ward, like where are they at? They still have they still have a couple years of control, but like, where are you at with that? Jorge Soler, still can provide power somewhere. You have this core group of some younger players that are doing good, but like Reggiano or Regine Foe. Oh my God, I keep screwing up his name. He's a guy that might garner some interest somewhere. You get to that pitching staff, and like Kikuchi was a great sign, a great player to bring in. Tyler Anderson was a great player to bring in a couple of years ago. But now, are they going to be a part of those steps going forward? Right? Did you hit gold on Kikuchi and can optimize that and get a lot more than I don't know his necessarily right off the top of my head his contract with the Angels, but is it going to give you more in return than what you have, right? So he signed a 3-year, $63 million deal through 27. You're getting, I mean, I'm okay with them keeping him, but I'm okay with them trading him too, because like that might be like one of the best pitchers on the market if you decided to. You hit gold. Kenley Jansen, you hit some gold, dude. Like he's pitching great. Some of these guys in this bullpen, you're doing really well with this stuff. So the Angels are that interesting team, and where do you go with Mike Trout? Like he started to play better ish, like he's back ish. So do you try something there, or do you just eat that contract and just let Mike be an Angel for life? They're an interesting team, but it's a team like Baltimore, a team like Pittsburgh, these teams that are like for sure on that outside looking in that
But
I'm
there's
moving.
just not enough of them.
There's not enough of them. The Diamondbacks, the Diamondbacks for sure. Like I hate to say this, but the Diamondbacks are playing like a team that needs to get gutted and keep the core, but gut the team. The Nationals are getting to the spot of, let's go, dudes. Like, I need to see better. Like, you're a 41 win team, and you're supposed to be getting better. Like, you're going backwards. The Angels, the Twins, gutting the Twins. I am absolutely gutting the Twins.
Well, we'll get to the Twins later because there's a guy on the Twins that I really want to talk about. So let's start going through some of the rumors and some of the players and some of the teams that could be open for business. And the first one I want to bring up is one of the most intriguing. There are rumors out there that the Guardians are willing to listen to trade offers for Stephen Kwan and Emmanuel Clase. I mean, both of those guys are absolutely incredible. Do you think they would make that move? And if I'm another team, I would love to have either of those guys on my team.
Okay, so if I'm looking to trade the two of the two, Emmanuel Clase, I am much more willing to trade for him. He's got $6 million, $10 million in 2027, and $10 million 28. But the one thing I know, and and we all know, relievers only last so long.
Yep.
And
you know better than anybody.
And used. And it's just screaming to me like you might, like with the numbers kind of coming down this year. And again, the numbers come down. He's at 286, but a little bit more hittable, and it's a very valuable contract. The thing with both of these guys, their contracts are so valuable. You can get
Mhm.
years and years of control with these guys at cheap. If I'm the Guardians, who should change their name back to the Indians, but if I'm the Guardians, I am without a doubt listening. Kwan is a bigger part of this team for the future to me. Where do you feel about that?
Well,
I need a lot to give up on Kwan. Clase is the best reliever like in baseball. Has been incredible. Maybe not this year, but Kwan to me, like he's so much bigger part of that team. I don't know.
I mean, it doesn't make any sense for me when you have a guy who's under control with Stephen Kwan, who does everything that you want him to do, who doesn't have a huge salary. That's the kind of guy I want to keep. I want those good, solid, offensive players. And what I like about Kwan is he just puts the ball in play. He's, Ichiro Jr., where he just wants to get hit after hit after hit. He's going to play good, solid defense. He's not going to cost you a lot. I would love to have that guy on my team, but if I'm the Guardians,
glove winner the last 3 years, 2-time All-Star, but they're both under control for the same amount of years.
Yeah.
2 years after this.
Yeah, I would keep him for the next couple of years and see if maybe next year or the year after, if I can trade him for a bigger package once he gets towards free agency. Or no, you won't get a bigger package when he's closer to free agency, obviously. But what you will do is you will have more teams going after him because there will be more teams willing to give up less to get that guy. So you'll probably have 2 or 3 teams right now that are willing to give up a great package, but later on, you're going to have 7 or 8 teams who are willing to give up a very good package. I want the options later on. And I think that the Guardians are a well-run organization, a team that can come back from this. So why not keep him for a couple of years and see if I can make a run with a guy who I like, with a guy who can do the job, because you're going to need a guy like that later. So trading Stephen Kwan doesn't make any sense. If I am another team, I want him immediately.
Yeah, if I'm another team, I mean, there's so many teams out there that would take him in an absolute heartbeat. One team that just jumps to the mind is the Dodgers.
Oh, yeah.
Guaranteed on-base guy, just locked in, great defender, Gold Glove defender, and it screams Dodgers all over it. It's just, this is the biggest thing is it's just these 2 guys have so much control left that they're going to have to take. It's going to have to take a big package. It's going to have to take a lot. I mean, what if the Dodgers did something crazy and got Kwan and Clase, right?
I was just about to say, I think that's very possible because they have enough prospects.
And it's, if they could trade money, the Dodgers would do it so easily. If they have enough prospects, that's a ton of prospects, a ton of players. And the Guardians are, you said it, very well run. Very well run. They're always in it for reasons, and they don't make these moves for, they're not going to get swindled by a deal. They're going to find a great deal that helps both teams. I would want both of those guys.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, next guy that I want to talk about is MacKenzie Gore. This one, I cannot understand for the life of me why the Nationals are even looking to start negotiations. You have a young starting pitcher who is still under control for 2 more years for arbitration before he can go to unrestricted free agency. This is the kind of guy that you help build around. All these freaking teams that say, oh, I want young, controllable starting pitching. You have it. You have it. You have some good young players with him in James Wood, Cruz, Abrams. That's a team on the up and up. It's coming. Why make that trade right now? I can understand if you're the Nationals, you're like, you know what? I can get this team better a lot faster if I trade my young pitching because we're not ready. But it kind of doesn't make sense to me why they're willing to do it. Now, on the James scale, I do this all the time. You know me. I want to get as much good young hitting as I can at all times and then get the pitchers later. But I think counterintuitive to the rest of baseball. I don't understand why the Nationals would be considering this move.
I don't know how much this is actually the Nationals considering a move for MacKenzie Gore as everybody else's eyes like widening, going, I would love MacKenzie Gore. There's probably 29, well, there's probably 30 teams in baseball that would love to have MacKenzie Gore, including the Nationals, right?
Yeah.
This might be a matter of contract and timing. He's available. You're going to have years of control. So you're going to get return, and a team that's getting him is not getting a rental player. So those players always jump to the top of a lot of these trade boards, because if you think you're going to be good in this year and next year, like, you want that control, right? But it's also a matter of, do the Nationals really think they're going to be competitive in 2 years? Do they think not just competitive? Do they think they're going to be a playoff team in 2 years? Because at that point, you're paying MacKenzie Gore a ton of money, or he's walking for free.
Yeah.
So this might be just a matter of them looking at the realistic team and saying, we kind of suck. We've got a lot of really good young players. Do we move one of those young players and then say in 2 years, like, we're a better team because of it? Or we still just kind of, are we going to keep MacKenzie Gore for in 3 years? Are we going to sign MacKenzie Gore to a long-term contract? That's it. That's the only conversation here. Because if the answer is no, because you kind of know the numbers, like the way they're playing out, you kind of know they're going to be in a 3 or 4 number area, or 2.5 to 3 area, right? In the hundreds of millions. Then you say you move them if you're not going to give them that type of money. But if you're going to give them that type of money, figure it out now, right now, sign it. It's because if he keeps pitching like this, it's just going to get more and more expensive for you.
It kind of makes me think that the new regime that came in after the old guys were kicked out a couple of weeks ago, maybe they just don't believe in some of the players that the old regime really liked, and they're looking to put their stamp on it and saying,
you don't think they believe in them? I think you're crazy. I think they believe in them. I think they know and they believe in them. I think they believe in this team. I think it's crazy if anybody walks in. You got to understand, the new guys they brought in were those guys.
Right.
Were that regime. They were the assistants to those guys. Those were the ones saying, yeah, these are great moves. Yeah, these are great players. Yeah, this is why it makes sense to keep these guys. And the head guys are agreeing. That's like when they do these trades, it's not like the GM walks in and goes, guys, I've got a trade for you. These are the assistants are the ones running hundreds of trade ideas and proposals, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. And then the head guy, then they bring those ideas to the head guy. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? Oh, someone says, hey, we want Juan Soto. What do you think? And those guys are the ones running all the players and saying, we want this, 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 and this. It's not just that. It's not Moneyball where the GM just stands there and goes, we want so-and-so. That's not how that works. So all these new guys they're all backers of MacKenzie Gore. Come on, you're crazy if you're not. But I think it's just a matter of the reality of the situation in 2 years.
I just want to say that if any GMs in Major League Baseball are watching and you need an assistant that'll give you trade ideas and free agency ideas, come to me. I want that job more than you could possibly imagine. I will sell my soul to have that job. Just saying. I really want that job. All right. Next team up that is looking to make some moves, the Pittsburgh Pirates. Everybody knows that Ke'Bryan Hayes, David Bednar, Mitch Keller, they're all on the block. I don't know if they're making the right move because I don't see it. I would because of who the Pirates are, knowing that they're never going to give that big dollar amount and they're never going to be able to go out and get free agents. Trade the one great piece that could build you a whole team. Trade Skeens and get everything under the sun and have 10 amazing prospects that can be your whole team, because you will get that. Because what's going to happen? You're going to sign Skeens, let's say the Pirates miraculously find the money. They got $300 million to get Paul Skeens. Do they have any money for anybody else? No freaking chance. So trade Skeens. Forget about trading Keller. He's a good pitcher. You can use him. Forget about trading Hayes. You can use him. Get more pieces. Build a freaking offense.
I mean, it sounds great. It sounds great. This it works on MLB, like the show. People will trade for him. There's nobody anywhere with enough prospects to trade for Paul Skeens. Sorry, it's just not. It's not happening. No, it's not happening. It's too early, too much control. He's too good. Nobody has enough players to trade for him. It's just not. It's too early on. Like, you would have to literally give everybody It sounds great. It sounds great. It sounds wonderful. Nobody will make that move because they don't have enough to give unless you're the Orioles. And again, we talked about this. And then it's like you're not getting better. You're just getting even.
Well, let me just throw something
Mitch
at
Keller is the guy. Mitch Keller is an incredible pitcher. 3.53 ERA is basically walking in a year. It's perfect move. Dave Bednar, comeback player of the year for me right now with how he's playing. It is absolutely incredible. You have to move those two. Like, you actually have to move those two. Get the most out of Dave Bednar as you absolutely can right now because it was so bad last year. Get those players. But the Paul Skeens thing, it's fun and great and grand, and it looks really good when we make videos. Like, you have to give your starting lineup. There's no players. There's not enough out there anybody can give.
Dodgers don't have enough? They couldn't give.
It doesn't matter. I don't care who you are. Like, the Dodgers would have to give up their entire minor league, like, top 5, top 7 guys.
Okay, let me ask you this. You give up the 2 best position players that you have in the minors and Roki Sasaki. That doesn't get it done, and it doesn't make the Dodgers.
I think they laugh at that. Like, why would I want Roki Sasaki? I could have had him.
Right, because you're getting Roki Sasaki, who's, let's say, 80% of Skeens, and then you're getting 2 premier hitting prospects.
I don't even know if that's enough with how good Paul Skeens is. I don't even think that's enough. Like, look at what Juan Soto did, and he was basically like wasn't as good and had less control. And look at what the Nationals got out of that trade. And so you got more control and a better player.
All right.
I'm just saying, like, look at that trade. That trade would have blown the Dodger trade out of the water. And so that's to me is the problem. Like, he's so early in control, and there's probably the only way he's even making money is they're selling Skeens jerseys.
Let me propose another trade to you, and you tell me if this gets it done. I'm the Yankees. I'm coming to the Pirates, and I'm saying I'm giving you Lombard, Spencer Jones, Luis Heel, and another prospect.
Probably no.
What if I add Anthony Volpe there?
I think that's then. Now you just made the deal worse.
Okay, but you understand what I'm trying to say. You said probably and no.
Well, but again, like, the Yankees can't do that either.
Why not?
It's because we're giving up so much current value. Like,
no, you're not.
You're not getting a shortstop. You're giving up the Rookie of the Year candidate and Hill last year for a pitcher. Okay, I get it, but the Yankees now have to figure out shortstop, which they have to figure out anyways. And then you have to figure out then you're taking away all the players that would even take those spots. And so then on top of that, like, if I'm the Pirates, I'm getting Volpe. Like, okay, like, I don't want Volpe. I don't need Volpe. Like, I don't need Volpe. And then I'm getting a pitcher who was hurt already and a couple prospects. And, like, I'm still, like, losing if I'm the Pirates, and the Yankees still can't even afford that.
Okay, I got one more for you because the Yankees has been a major topic around my life lately. So I'm going to expand on that. I want Skeens and I want to keep Brian Hayes. I'm giving you Spencer Jones. I'm giving you George Lombard. I'm giving you Luis Heel, and I'm giving you Jason Dominguez. What do you say now, Arts?
At what point are we going to look at Jason Dominguez and realize he sucks?
It's been half a year. We've seen guys go through this.
But it was like last year too. And the year, like, it's constantly like we're still like sitting there like, at what point is he not a prospect anymore?
Okay. Listen, I just think that,
but that's the thing is, like, we keep going like, oh, like, we're so overvaluing these guys. Skeens is the one guy that can't be overvalued. He's so young and in control. Like, he's worth so much money to these teams. So much. And then we're throwing these players out, and, like, at what point are we going to realize, like, prospects out of the Yankees never really worked all that well? And we're overvaluing those players, and, like, Jason Dominguez, like the dude's like 147th best player in baseball right now. 147th is what Fangraphs has him.
I wish I was 147th best baseball player right now.
And the last 7 days, he's the 348th. And like the dude has been playing, he's at 9 home runs and 253 batting average. Like I'd rather have Chisholm. And that's saying a lot, right? And that's
Okay.
and you're wanting Paul Skeens? You're wanting a dude that's going to walk out there with a 1 ERA and has 4
But I'm
more
also,
years of control plus this half? And he's the Cy Young winner, and he's the Rookie of the Year, and could have won the Cy Young last year. And like you're not, you don't have enough like these players and the prospects. We can talk about it. Like you got to give me Spencer Jones, Austin Wells, Dominguez, Arias, Warren. Like let's go down this line. Lombard, like you got to give me all of these guys, every one of them, and then that guts them so far that they don't have anything left.
Maybe I've just been playing with my baseball cards too long and I'm used to trading. So, maybe I got to get back to reality. But you know what?
Like Lombard has
get back to reality,
5 home runs. Lombard has 5 home runs in the minors.
Okay. Listen, home runs isn't the be all end all. If the guy can hit, I would rather Tony Gwynn wasn't a home run hitter. I'll take him. Ichiro wasn't a home run hitter. I'll take him.
He's batting 242, and he wasn't hitting 242.
Okay, just
hitting
saying,
210 in Double A.
These guys got to develop. Look, I know the Yankees always overhype their prospects. I get that part, but you got guys that people are interested in, especially a 6'7" Spencer Jones that has been crushing home runs, and you have Luis Gil that if you lose him right now, it doesn't mean anything to you because you haven't had him all season. There's trades to be made.
Thank you. The Pirates are saying the same thing.
Yeah, but they're looking at possibly getting a pitcher that could be part of their rotation for 2-3 years.
But these other teams are looking at it and saying the same thing. If you lose Gil, it doesn't even matter. So why do I want Gil? You're losing this guy who is sitting in the minor leagues and apparently is so great, but not good enough to be on the Yankees, who suck right now. And then you got this 19-year-old cool who needs to develop. I'm giving Paul Skeens for this, and a shortstop that's arguably one of the worst shortstops in baseball right now. Like I'm giving you that for Volpe.
You're not giving it up for Volpe. The guy's a throw-in at this point.
214. I am the Pirates giving up Paul Skeens. There is no throw-in in this deal. You're a dude or you're not. To me, if I'm the Yankees, yeah, great. I need a 3-way trade for this to happen. Okay. If I'm the Yankees, it has to be a 3-way trade. Somebody's giving up all their prospects. I'm giving them Major League caliber players, and then I'm getting the player. I'm getting the Paul Skeens. I have to give a couple prospects. They have to give a couple prospects. It creates a really nice package. And I have to give a major league talent to somebody else to give up those prospects. There's so many angles that have to happen that it's too early. It's way too early for the Pirates.
Okay. So it's pretty obvious that you don't think anybody can get Paul Skeens. But if you want Paul Skeens, it's very easy. All you have to do is go to J&J Sports Cards, where we have Paul Skeens cards up on eBay right now. Check out our store. You will find some pretty damn awesome baseball cards. And there'll be more coming soon because Chrome just came out and my partner probably bought 4 cases of that crap. So there'll be lots of stuff for me to post on our eBay store. All right. Up next, the team that we've been talking about all year, the Baltimore Orioles, the team that should have made a trade way before the season, overhyped their prospects, and now is kind of sitting in it. So they've got Mullins, who's available. They have Bautista, who's available, who I would absolutely love. It's funny, those 2 players, I can see both of them going to the Mets in a package. But for me, I'm looking to trade some of those other youngsters that you have who aren't quite putting it together and seeing if I can get some actual major league caliber players. For example, I'll give you a guy like Kobe Mayo. Is he absolutely necessary right now for the Orioles? He just seems to be another one of those prospects that isn't coming up. And you've got so many of those young guys on that team. Why not get rid of one or two, bring in some veterans that can teach the other guys?
So what you're saying is, so the Baltimore Orioles should not be trading away players. They should be bringing players in.
No. What I'm saying is they have to trade Mullins. They have to trade Bautista. Those are the guys that they have to trade, especially Mullins because he's a free agent. But what I'm saying is you also have some young guys in a guy like Mayo that isn't doing anything. Why not trade him away and get a couple of veteran bats as well that can help guide Jackson Holiday, Gunnar Henderson, Adley Rutschman, all these young guys. They need that stabilizing force in the locker room and someone good.
I like the idea that actually the Orioles are going to figure it out and start actually trading for players. When is that?
No, I'm not talking about trading for players. They're trading away their prospects is what I'm trying to say.
Bring in the veteran presence that they should have done in the offseason. I got what you're saying. And they're going to trade their prospects. Like, we've been talking about this in 2 years.
Yeah.
And they still haven't done it.
Well, they should.
Now it's going to happen. It's not going to happen. So they should. You are right. They should. We are right. We've been right this whole time. I hate saying this. Mike Elias is an incredibly intelligent human who has rebuilt the Orioles to even being contenders. But, God, they have dropped the ball on this. God, it's been so bad they've dropped the ball on this. And this team is so poorly constructed right now that it is so disappointing. Cedric Mullins, got to be traded. Tyler O'Neill, trade. If you can get anything for him, trade him. Should have been gone long ago. Zach Eflin's got to go.
Yep.
Charlie Morton's got to go. You're talking about in that bullpen. You're talking about
Bautista.
Rodriguez, right?
Bautista's
gotta go. These guys have to go. There's so many players here that have to go. And you know what? It will open the door for some of those younger players. But every one of those guys have to go. If you can get some of these guys in like twofers and actually get some real players back would be great. But if I'm the Orioles, I have to seriously look at a Mayo, a Bassaro. Like, am I actually going to do anything with these guys? Yeah. Am I going to bring them in? I've got Bassalo. I get it. Like, he's young, but like, we have to make a move here. Like, Kjerstad, is he going to sit in AAA and be whatever? Or am I going to move these guys and put them together and bring them to the big leagues and actually make, like, Ryan O'Hearn, gone. Like, yep. Gone. This guy, why are we waiting so late to get these players? And we talk about this. If I'm other teams, these trades should already be done.
Yep.
Get these guys in before the value goes higher. Get them early. If you have to overpay, fine, overpay for right now, but guarantee yourself some of these players. Like Ryan O'Hearn has having an incredible year. Get him. Like, there are teams that need him. Let's go. And like, let's get this thing going, because like, we're all sitting back waiting for like a domino to drop. Be the team that makes some of these moves.
Yep. Next team that I want to talk about, and if you have watched me or spoken to me, you know that this team frustrates me, and that's the Minnesota Twins. And I'm about to say something that it's going to absolutely crush you, David, because you're going to be like, I can't believe that came out of your mouth. My New York Mets, the top target that I have for them is Byron Buxton. That's the guy that I desperately want for the New York Mets, even though I have called him a bust forever, because he was supposed to be the face of that franchise. But right now, a 31-year-old Byron Buxton, who's still under control for the next couple of years at $15 million, who is finally proving to be healthy, who is a plus defender, a plus hitter when he's healthy, is the kind of guy that can get my team, the New York Mets, over the top. That is the guy that I desperately want. And if you are the Minnesota Twins right now, is the time to pounce. He's 31 years old. He's not getting any younger. This is the peak value you're going to get. He's shown that he can stay healthy this year. He has shown that he can be a great player this year. Trade him now while you can. You wait 1 more year, 2 more years, you're getting nothing for him in comparison. David Ardsma, your thoughts?
You have to give the house up for him right now. Same thing. You're going to give the house up. That's why his name isn't really out there. Changer. Oh, you are. Absolutely. When he's healthy, you're getting this would be an absolute monster of a deal. Control. Get control. You have to you're giving up the house for this guy. And that's the problem is like, again, the Mets, I don't even know if the Mets have enough to get these guys with 2 years of control left.
Yeah, let me throw something at you and you tell me if it's I'm going to give you Jet
How
Williams.
often do you ever see a player with 2 years of control get traded?
How often do you see this situation in Minnesota where it's a perfect time to
Every
trade the guy?
Every year you get these things. Every year there's going to be a guy. 2 years of control of an all-star who we talk about, a home run derby guy. Like, you don't have there's not enough players.
Look, I know it's apples to oranges because of the contract, but I'm looking at this as Giancarlo Stanton Jr., meaning you had a guy who showed that he was great when he's healthy, but was never healthy. And everybody in Major League Baseball knows that. So you're not going to have to give up everything under the sun to get Byron Buxton. You're going to have to give up a lot, but you're not going to have to give it up like he was a 24-year-old Juan Soto. If you give up Mark Vientos, Brandon Sproat, and Jet Williams, that should get it done.
I don't know. Dude, like you're 2 years of control of a guy who's finally hitting.
Okay, but I'm going to give you a guy
healthy. That's my only thing is like, okay, cool. Vientos had a good year, and now he's horrible. And it's like you're getting guys off the books that other teams aren't excited about for a guy that everyone wants. So who are you thinking? You were thinking Vientos. Who else? Scott?
Vientos, Brandon Sproat, who is their number one pitcher in the minors that a lot of people are into. And I'm giving up Jet Williams, who's their number one of their top prospects.
So Jet Williams is their number 3 prospect.
Yeah.
And then Sproat, okay.
And Vientos or Beatty.
Maybe. If I'm the Twins, I'm clearing house, guys. This is the bigger thing. If I'm the Twins, I'm clearing house. I'm not getting rid of Byron Buxton, who I have easy control of. The contract's like nothing. Because I can't get rid of Correa. But I can get rid of Harrison Bader. Well, I'm going to get something for something of decent value because he's a great what.
You can get rid of Duran, their reliever, who everybody.
Duran, I'm going to get rid of Joe Ryan. Will be interesting because there is a lot of control there, so there's a lot of stuff to get rid of. Duran again, it's the same thing to me. Is like Duran's going to start getting paid a lot. And again, I'm the Twins. My problem with the Twins is like. I'm giving like here's the thing with the Twins. I'm gonna try to give up everybody I can, but all one of these guys are all controllable. So if I'm the Twins, I'm not giving up. I'm selling the house of all the contracts, but I'm keeping all my core guys like Duran, Joe Ryan, all these guys. Because the thing about it is I still have control of them and Jeffers. I still have control of Royce Lewis, Carlos Correa, Buxton. Like I'm returning a team back that with a couple of pieces can be really, 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 really good. Griffin Jacks, like their entire bullpen is studs basically. I can still be a good team. I just have to figure out my thing with the Twins is if I'm going to take one more chance and go for it or not. Because if I'm not, then I should get rid of all of these guys. Because if I get rid of all 3 of those, but the thing is, all 3 of those guys have 2 years of control. Every one of them have 2 years of control.
But that's when you get the top prospects.
I'm giving up I'm giving up the next 2 years. I'm done. My next 2 years are gone if I give up on these guys, except for they're all here. I don't have to. I'm not losing the contract on Joe Ryan. I'm not losing Duran. I'm not losing Buxton. I'm not losing Royce Lewis. I'm not losing Harrison Bader's the only guy that I really am. I'm just like Royce Lewis, like Ryan Jeffers. Like they're all here. They're all coming back. So to me, it's like, do I move a Byron Buxton and then just say, okay, screw it. Then if I move Byron Buxton, I have to move Joe Ryan. I have to move Duran. There's no reason to keep him. And then I'm rebuilding big time. But if I'm moving one, I have to move them all. And I don't know. God dang it, Twins.
Dude, here's what it comes down to. Do you think that the Twins in the next...
But like they have the pieces.
But here's the thing. Do you think in the next 2 years that the Twins are going to be World Series contenders?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Then you don't trade them.
Because of these players that you want. That's my problem is they can be because they Buxton. Like they need one guy in the lineup. They need Carlos Correa to be the Carlos Correa that they were supposed to sign. They need one guy in the lineup, and they can be a legit World Series contender.
But in order to do that, they would have to get that big player, which I don't know if they have the financial flexibility to do. And then you also have to pray that Byron Buxton stays healthy and Carlos Correa stay healthy. And we know that's an issue for those guys. So to me,
without doubt.
You're sitting there and you're betting the house that a guy who hasn't stayed healthy is going to stay healthy. Now, it happens. I remember what I used to say about Aaron Judge, how I was so terrified in the beginning of his career that Aaron Judge was always hurt and I wouldn't have given him that long term. And it's come back that, okay, great. He's been healthy the last couple of years. Wonderful. Can I make that same bet with Byron Buxton?
No.
Exactly. So that's why you trade him now. That's why
I get it, but I get what you're saying. And if you have the mindset that they're not a World Series contender in 2 years, I am on your boat if that's the question, if that's the answer to that question. Like they're a pitcher and a hitter away from. They were what? Like they're a couple games away from winning the division last year.
Can they afford to get that pitcher and that hitter they need? That's the question. Because
that's the question. I mean, they put the money. They put the money up. They've gone for it. That's one team in that division that's actually put the money up. They did it with Correa. They've done it. But if you're starting Kobe Clemens, I mean,
but dude, they could be capped on the amount of money that they can spend, and that's where I think they're at right now.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is all those players don't cost you anything more. You have them. And then it's just, all right, like, can you bring in just a couple? Like, you have the superstars. I don't need superstars. I need role players that are going to give me more than 207 batting average, a 216 batting average. I need guys that are going to put up some numbers and just be great role players, great defense role players, and another pitcher. You know, like I've got one of the worst pitching staffs, the rotation. I got one of the best starters in Joe Ryan. But I need a rotation that was supposed to be the Pablo Lopez, those guys that are going to go out there and give me really good starts every single day. That's why God dang it, James.
I know.
If I'm them, if I can possibly get the players, I trade Joe Ryan, I trade Buxton, I trade Duran. If I can get the players, but I can't do it if I'm going to get less than the value for them though. Like that's the problem is like you have three guys. Like I can't just trade one. I need to trade all three. And maybe you wait on out of all three, I trade Byron Buxton first. Because even if he does hit for these next 2 years, then he's going to be really expensive. I can't afford it anyways. And if he does hit these, like what he's doing right now, like his value has never been higher. I think Joe Ryan's going to continue being good, so I can wait. And I think Duran's going to continue being good, so I can wait a little bit.
By the way,
but outside of that, like
every time you say Joe Ryan, I do the same thing that you do with Eddie Perez. I just think Joe Rogan. It's really messed up. Yeah, I think we're in agreement, though. I think I finally got you around it that Buxton is the guy to trade right now.
Well, Buxton is the guy to trade, like without a doubt. Duran's obviously the easiest one to trade, and because it's a reliever, so you give less value. It's the easiest one to move. Someone will take him a lot less value than it's going to be a Joe Ryan or a Buxton. Jeez, Buxton. It's just I don't know. I don't know if they're going to get the players like that deal you told me. I don't know if I do it because like I don't know if I do it with the Mets for that.
But listen, I don't know all the prospects in baseball. In fact, I can't stand prospects. So I don't know them, but I'm sure that the Mets or other teams have enough to make a trade for a 31-year-old oft injured outfielder, even if he is as good as he is.
Yeah.
Okay. Finally, we're going to get to the most intriguing guy in this trade class, if you say, because he's going to get traded. If the Diamondbacks don't do it, they're freaking morons. Eugenio Suárez, the guy is one of the best players in baseball right now. And if you told me that Suárez would be doing this before the season start, I would have told you that you are absolutely crazy. But what does he have? 35 home runs, something like that, after 102 games, something ridiculous like that. The Diamondbacks need to trade this freaking guy. And everybody's been saying the Yankees, the Yankees, the Yankees. I don't see it. I can be honest.
You don't see it.
I don't see it happening.
Okay.
Because the Yankees, they love clutching those stupid prospects like they're gold. I don't understand why. I would trade everybody if I can get Suárez because of that. You were talking about the Yankees being World Series contenders. I told you I don't think they're a well-constructed team. You add Suárez, I start changing my tune about this team and how well they're constructed. That is a stud right there. That's a dog.
Well, that's the big thing with this Yankees team. Like we can sit there and say, like, are they World Series contenders right now? Yes, because they're going to make the playoffs. They're a great team. And again, a couple players just have a good month and they're in. Like they're rolling through teams. Defense is brutal. Pitching is incredible or hurt. And then the hitting is incredible or judge. Yeah. So like you add one player. That's the thing. How many teams can you really say this about that? You add one player. Like if they just add a good third baseman, they're in. Just a good third baseman. Doesn't even have to be the best third baseman. They just need to add a good third baseman. Let alone they'll probably add another bullpen piece. They'll probably get somebody. They'll probably go be the ones that get a Clase or a Duran or some closer out there that's on the market or Bednar. Bednar probably has Yankees name written all over him, even though like that's probably the worst place for him to go. So if I'm like the Diamondbacks, like I have to trade him. I have to move him. There's no doubt about it. Then it's just a matter of like where's the best deal because you hit gold on a dude who is just having a career year. You give him a big hug and you say, dude, I love you. You played yourself into this. Great job. Let's talk maybe later, but like you're hitting gold at the perfect time with the perfect player. You trade his ass so fast and you give him a big hug on the way out the door and say, go get yourself a ring, my man. Like you played yourself into this. Go get yourself a ring. There's other guys that obviously this team, like big stuff that they're going to be talking about is a Merrill Kelly, Zach Gallen. And like, do I finally cut loose Eduardo Rodriguez? Like, is anybody going to take him? Type of thing. Do I have guys in that bullpen that I want to move, like a Ginkel? Is anybody even going to take him at this point? Like that bullpen is so bad. Kendall Graveman, like the bullpen is so bad. Like one guy has a below 4 ERA.
Yeah, that's
Major League Baseball guys. That's like the worst. This is the worst constructed team I think in baseball because that bullpen is just so ungodly bad. It doesn't matter how good your offense is. Doesn't matter how good your starting pitching is. The moment you're the bullpen, you're like you can't stop the runs from happening. You just can't. Yeah. It's a bleeding. You have to outscore teams by so many runs before you get to the sixth inning. You have to have a 7-run lead before you get to the sixth inning. And they just, no team can do that every day. It's amazing this team's even close to 500. So That's what happens with teams like this. That's why they're so up and down, because like this is the lucky days when the bullpen doesn't give up the house or the starting pitching goes deep enough. They don't have time to give up the house. So to me, I look at this team and go, all right, like I got to cut bait on some guys. Problem with Zach Gallen is like you're trading at the lowest point he's ever pitched of his career. Merrill Kelly's finally is like actually like dominating. And do I want to give up? Because if I give up those guys, I've given up my entire pitching staff.
Yep. Let me ask you a question. Eugenio Suárez, being that he is the guy that's being talked about and having a great year, and he's the number one target at the trade deadline, how much does that add to his free agency dollars because he's been talked about so much this season? Does it make any difference because his Q rating is now higher? Will he get a bigger contract?
He's obviously, I mean, he's had a year where he's had 49 home runs. So we always known he's had the power. He's been in some absolute bandboxes of ballparks, though, in Cincinnati and Arizona. But he continued that power numbers even in Seattle. It absolutely adds value, but he's going to be 35 years old.
Yeah, that's the problem.
How much value is it really adding? Like, it's a 2-year deal.
Right.
At most. It's one and an option. Like, you just can't. I can't put the money up for a guy that is that age and expect the return. Like I just can't do it. So there's only so much I can even sign this guy for. I mean, he deserves like a $20 million deal, $25 million a season.
I was going to say after the season, I could see him getting 2 years with a player option for a third at $70 million is what I would say.
I can't give him a player option. I mean, that puts him at 38.
Or a mutual option.
Right. Yeah, I mean, like that's my only thing is I can't have a 38-year-old third baseman. I just can't on any team. But if that takes it to get him signed, I can move him to I've got flexibility at first or DH. Okay, I do it. Right. But yeah, it definitely adds value. But it doesn't take it. But the years, you just can't do anything with the years. That's the only thing.
I'm just curious where he's going to go. I do have a feeling that both New York teams, and I actually read something that the Mets were talking about adding Suárez. I'm just wondering, can you imagine the New York newspapers if the guy that the Yankees have been talking about all year becomes a Met after losing Soto? Yankee fans might jump off of the Brooklyn Bridge.
Nah, Yankee fans don't care. But the media will talk about them as if they're going to jump off the bridge. There's no doubt. I don't think anybody cares if he becomes a Met. I think what they care about is who do they get. If they don't get anybody and the Mets get him, there's going to be hell to pay. But if they get somebody who's younger, who maybe they see something, because my only thing with Suárez, I just don't know if there's that time factor. Like he's going to be able to continue this. He's in Arizona and just doing it. I don't know how much that carries over into Citi Field.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I don't think they're going to end up getting him anyway. I think the Mets have two priorities, and that's a center fielder and a relief pitcher. And then afterwards would be a starting pitcher. I don't think third is the big problem.
Do you really think they're going to give up on Vientos yet? It's like, I get it. I talk crap about Vientos. The only crap I was actually talking was to Mets fans saying, pump the brakes. He's not Pete Alonso. Because remember, that was the conversation. Oh, we got Vientos. We don't need Alonso. And it's like, wait. It's a first-year player going into a sophomore year. Like, you need Pete Alonso. Like, you need Pete Alonso. And he will make every one of your problems go away. Vientos, I don't think they're going to give up. If Vientos starts showing some signs of life again the second half, then you definitely – I don't know if they even go for a third baseman. I think they've got those other needs. And you figure out – and you're like, all right, even if Vientos can be at least a zero WAR player, that's better than and then we can make our team better in other places that we need it more.
The reason why I think it's a possibility they would move on from Vientos, and I don't want to make this too Mets heavy. The only reason why I think they would is because they have a duplicate player in Brett Beatty who's going to do basically the same. Yes, Vientos' ceiling I think is higher, and you just spent $70 million on Soto. You have to go to the World Series, and Suárez probably puts you over the top if you do that, if he plays the way he's been doing. So you're not really losing much if it is Vientos, because you still have Beatty at the end of the day. So
I just and it's like I get what you're saying. I just don't know if I'm out there, I don't know who the third base who's going to be like a free agent. I just have a hard time believing a 35-year-old batter coming out of Arizona and Cincinnati is going to throw up the same numbers in Citi Field.
Yeah.
And like if he doesn't put up the power numbers, then all of a sudden you already have the player in Vientos or Beatty. You already have the dudes or Ronnie. How do you say it? Mauricio. We already have more. Like, you've got answers, and I don't think a third baseman's is stopping the Mets from getting the World Series. If it's anything, it's going to be a stud number one ace lockdown game one World Series starter, and maybe a couple arms in the bullpen that are just locked in. Like, those things make more of a move for the Mets, I think, than all right. Like, I mean, you look at the Dodgers. The Dodgers are going to win the World Series. Most likely. The Dodgers are just an incredible team, but they're not living on.
If any of their pitching survives till the end of the season.
Yes. But if the other guys even come back, like they've got so many Cy Young winners, it's ridiculous. But like, I need, like, I already got a Nimmo playing well, Lindor, Soto, Alonso, McNeil doing well. Like, I've got my lineup doing fine. Like, that's all they have. But they got 4 or 5 guys. And the bottom of their lineup sucks too. And we don't talk, it's like the bottom of their lineup sucks. It's just that then they go to the pitching side and you're like, just which one of you are going to be healthy? Because you're all good.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Here's the bottom line. The guys we discussed today, I don't think any of them are going to make their team's Mount Rushmore. But let's find out who made the Mount Rushmore for the St. Louis Cardinals. That's right. It's the St. Louis Cardinals Mount Rushmore. And this week we are going to start off with Larry King's favorite player of all time. We know that because we spoke to him years and years ago. And that would be Stan the Man Musial. David, tell us about Stan the Man.
Stan Musial is just incredible icon of baseball. One of the best hitters of all time. The numbers, like, what he did over his career are just incredible, right? Hall of Famer, obviously, 3-time MVP, 3 World Series titles, 2 times Player of the Year, 24-time All-Star, 24-time All-Star, 7 batting titles. The dude did everything. He was an absolutely like a god of hitting. Gets underrepresented, I think, when you talk about like greatest hitters of all time. Does not get the love because like it just doesn't get it like that fully across the board. We kind of jump Stan Musial a little bit sometimes in some of those conversations. 331 career batting average. He owns the Cardinals record in games, home runs, RBIs, doubles, triples, hits, runs. Like, that's the thing.
Think about that for a second. Think about the players that the Cardinals have had. Pujols and Musial leads the league in home runs and in hits. And I mean, that's incredible. Musial should be up there when you talk about Stan Musial, and he is amongst the really smart baseball people. But when you talk about the casual fan, Musial is up there with Ted Williams, with Mickey Mantle, with Willie Mays. He's on that echelon of inner circle Hall of Famers.
He had 4 MVP 2s. 4 MVP 2s, let alone 3 MVPs. So MVP 12, 4, 22, 2, 2, 5, 8, 6, 8, 9, 2, 12, 16, 10. At 41, he was the 10th best player in the league. This guy is absolutely incredible and does not get enough love on that bigger conversation.
And
he does amongst Cardinal fans, I'll tell you that much.
Oh, yeah. And at the time was considered, and he's one of those guys that history is kind of forgotten about it, but at the time he was considered the best hitter in baseball. Hands down. I mean, 24 All-Star games? 24? There are guys who don't play 4 years and need 24 All-Star games. That guy's insane.
James, he missed one All-Star game outside of the very first year when he came up and only played like 12 games. He missed one All-Star game. You want to know why?
War.
He went to war. He served.
Yeah.
He served in 1945. So that's like the only time he didn't go to an All-Star game. There's only one, two, three, 4 times that he didn't get an MVP vote. And one of them was war. The other 3 were the final, like 3 out of the last 4 years of his career.
I'm actually curious. I'm going to Google it right now. Okay. Who owns the record for the most All-Star games? All-Star appearances.
Him or Willie Mays?
Nope. But you're going to say, oh, yeah, this makes sense. But
most All-Star games?
All-Star selections.
Most All-Star selections, Nolan Ryan. No, because there was years where he wasn't all that great.
Most underrated.
I would say this if God, I'm trying to think of his name. Who do you got?
All right, most underrated home run hitter of all time, even though he was in the record books.
Who?
Hank Aaron. 25, and then Willie Mays and Stan Musial tied for second with 24 All-Star selections.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah, that's the tier that this guy was on. All right, let's move on to another guy who automatically is on the Mount Rushmore for the Cardinals. That's the problem with the Cardinals. You have guys who are just so automatic, nobody else is getting in after this. And you were talking about Rogers Hornsby.
Roger Hornsby, 2-time MVP winner.
Not Rogers.
Rogers Hornsby, 2-time MVP winner, World Series champion, two triple crowns, 7-time batting champion. What's crazy is you go to his page, and I love this when you look at this, and you go down a little bit, and it's just black everywhere. Everywhere it's black. MVP again, 2-time MVP winners. It's just incredible. Like even the years that he didn't even get voted in anything for MVP or anything, he had amazing years. Like I think some of these years they didn't even have MVP is the problem. The dude hit 397 and there's nothing behind his name at the end there. There wasn't All-Star games back then. It wasn't MVP. Like the dude hit 297, hit 401, 424, 403. Like what? 424, okay, and he didn't win the MVP, by the way. The dude hit 424 and didn't win the MVP. Had a 1,200 OPS and didn't win the MVP.
How about this? You're talking about the black on his baseball reference page. Take a look at his OPS plus. He's a career average 175 OPS plus. He had 4 years where he was a 200 or better OPS plus player. 100 is average. If somebody's doing 120, you're like, oh, wow, he's having a great year. 200 OPS plus. 1, 2, 3, 4 times. You want to know how many times black OPS plus? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 years. He led the league in OPS plus.
Yeah. Incredible player.
Dude, just sick. Absolutely sick. Okay, next guy, one of the greatest pitchers in baseball history, and I've actually got, somebody gave me his autographed 1970 card the other day. Bob Gibson. Tell me about Bobby.
Bob Gibson, obviously a Hall of Famer, MVP, 9-time All-Star, 9-time Gold Glover, ERA title, 2-time Cy Young winner, 2-time World Series champion, and some of the most memorable World Series pitching performances ever. Here's the thing about, like, it doesn't matter, like, what you want to say about Bob Gibson. There's 2 things that I always say define Bob Gibson. One, we talked about this earlier in the show, but we talked about setting a tone. And like if somebody was stealing signs or something and just making them know, people were scared of Bob Gibson. You were scared to step in the box about Bob Gibson, which is incredible. The second thing I think that defines Bob Gibson is they changed freaking rules because of him. He was so good they changed Major League Baseball and said, dude, like, you're the cheat code. Like, we need to nerf you. Like, this is not right.
I want to. This is just incredible, and I've never actually sat down and looked at Bob Gibson's stats. I want to read his 1968 stats to you, and you're just going to lose your mind. 11.2 WAR, 1.12 ERA, 28 CGs, 13 shutouts, 268 strikeouts. Of course, every one of these led the league that year. 258 ERA plus, 0.853 whip, and Cy Young 1, MVP 1,
Gold Glove All-Star.
Gold Glove All-Star.
What's crazy about this? How about this? The next year, he had more strikeouts, and he had the same amount of CGs and did not lead the league. And had a 2.1 ERA. And did not
for
lead
you
the
guys
league.
Who don't remember what CGs are, complete games. That thing
he had
that
22 wins and didn't lead the league.
Yep.
20 wins and didn't lead the league. Like, so Bob Gibson, the crazy thing is like he never got to 300 wins. He was so dominant for a period of time. And it was just incredible what he did.
Just amazing. And finally, our last guy who is on the Mount Rushmore for the St. Louis Cardinals, my buddy Tommy, the biggest Mets fan on the planet, his favorite non-Met player of all time. Shout out to my boy Tommy. And that would be La Máquina, the machine, Albert Pujols.
Yes, the only one that's not in the Hall of Fame, the only debate about Albert Pujols is how many votes is he going to get when he's up for the Hall of Fame?
And how old?
Three-time, what?
And how old he is? That's the only other debate.
Yeah. Give you that, which makes the end of his career even more impressive.
Yeah,
3-time MVP winner, 11-time All-Star, 2-time Gold Glover, batting title, Player of the Year, 3 times Rookie of the Year, 2 World Series titles, 6-time Silver Slugger, Clemente Award winner. It's absolutely amazing what he did in St. Louis and the type of hitter, the consistency, and he gets known for he had 703 home runs. Right, gets known for the power. But what you kind of forget and what kind of gets thrown out is the books is like he was a great defender, plus defender, and he was a ball player who could do everything. He would take a base hit, take a double, do everything that he had to do. I mean, he led the league in hits once, 212 hits. I mean, 51 doubles, 1 year. This 45 doubles, 44 doubles. Like, he did everything, and he did it so well with the power. And so he could do, he wasn't just a power hitter. He was a ball player who hit for power.
Dude, he was so good. Do you know that? So he retired with a 296 batting average, and he didn't hit over 300 his last 14 years in the majors.
Did you know that he led Major League Baseball, all of Major League Baseball ever, and grounded into double plays?
I did not know that. That's pretty incredible.
That's a crazy stat. But it's amazing. I mean, again, grounded in double plays 426 times. Probably a lot of those happened towards the end of his career. But that also says like there was a lot of guys on base ahead of him, and he was hitting a lot. Anyways, but he's an amazing hitter. I'm in his book. He got me once, but I also got him. So we evened it out.
Yeah, I don't think it's even, but whatever. So to start his career, I just want to read the MVPs. MVP 4. So his first year, he had a 6.6 WAR with 161 games played.
How is he 4, by the way? He's a 329 batting average, 37 home runs, 130 RBIs. How did he not win Rookie of the Year?
Oh, he won Rookie of the Year. He was Rookie of the Year 1.
No, sorry, MVP. How do you not win the MVP?
Oh, let's look at that year. Who ended up beating him? Bonds, Sosa,
never mind,
73, Gonzalez.
63 or 4, 57. Okay, I give you that.
Yeah.
Jesus,
So
the guy had 130 RBIs, and he wasn't even close to leading the league. Sammy Sosa had 160.
So MVP 4 to start his career, MVP 2, MVP 2, MVP 3, MVP 1, MVP 2, MVP 9, MVP 1, MVP 1, MVP 2, MVP 5. That's his first 10 years in the league. He didn't go any lower than MVP 9. First 10 years.
Yeah, pretty good. Pretty
Pretty damn good. But what is crazy about this is he's in the top 3 in Cardinals all-time players. I'm sorry, I love Pujols, but the other 2 guys, Hornsby and Musial, are better players.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Well, he also didn't finish the next 10 years in St. Louis either, right? If he would have gone the next 10 years in St. Louis, he probably beats him
he's not better than Musial.
Or he stays a little healthier or something, like, right? Even the next 5 years in St. Louis, and he might beat him in some of these, because like then you're going to compare numbers, and he's probably going to blow him out in a lot of ways.
Well, I mean, if he stayed healthy, he ended up with 700 home runs. He would have broken the all-time home run record. But
yeah,
you talk about Griffey
the
could have
what
done
if
that.
guys.
Yeah. All right, your next one in, who will never be in, unfortunately, but he was so damn good, he would be
first one out.
Excuse me, your first one out, who would be in every other team except for maybe the Yankees would be in the Mount Rushmore, and that's the Wizard of Oz, Ozzie Smith.
Yeah, Hall of Famer, 15-time All-Star, 13 times Gold Glover, World Series champion, Silver Slugger, Clemente Award winner, and one of the most exciting baseball players to ever play baseball.
Yeah.
And first man out.
Yeah. Do we really have to do the guy who could make it? Because I don't think there's any possibility that anybody on this team is even close to making it. I know who you put down as Nolan Gorman and Jordan Walker, but what are the odds that there's any chance anybody's going to make this Mount Rushmore?
Not for a long, long time. And the only one you're going to be able to get off is Albert, only because he wasn't there.
Oh,
the 703 home runs were not as a Cardinal. Right, like those, like a lot of them were, but like that's gonna be the trick when you get there. Is like when you get to some of those numbers, it's going to be like it's going to be tough, because it's going to be incredibly difficult. It's like the Yankees, right? It's like it's so difficult. At the same time, the only thing is like if somebody somehow could do what Albert did and then just do a little bit longer as a Cardinal. That's what you're going to have to do. Like, good luck.
Okay, so let me throw this at you before we go, and we've gone very long today, but I want to throw this at you. If Ohtani spent his entire career with the Cardinals, would he get into the Mount Rushmore?
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay, who's coming off?
Oh, Pujols.
The Pujols is a guy?
Yeah, because he's going to sit there when you're going to look at team numbers. It's going to blow him away.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe it was Hornsby, but I'm not even so sure. Like, it's so, like, even with the greatest player of all time, the GOAT of GOATs. By the way, that short that you did about Ohtani being the GOAT of GOATs was incredible. If you guys want to check that out, check out our Instagram, check out our TikTok, all that stuff. David's killing it with the shorts. But even with the GOAT of GOATs, it's hard to get onto the Cardinals Mount Rushmore. It's almost impossible.
Yeah, and like this is like we haven't even talked about guys like Yadi. Kurt Flood, who had such a bigger impact than even on the field. Waino, Slaughter. Like, there's other players too that we never even talked about. Like, you're gonna have to have a pretty amazing career.
Yeah, you would almost have to be Bonds or Ohtani to get onto that list. All right, David, did you have fun? Because I had an absolute blast talking trade deadline, talking Cardinals. Like, I could do this kind of show all day, every day for the rest of my life.
I know you can.
This is my jam right here. So, guys, make sure you tune in next week. We will do the recap of all the trades that happened or didn't happen or what should have happened, and see James lose his absolute freaking mind over these things and why the Mets didn't get better players, et cetera, et cetera. So make sure you tune in next week. But with all that being said, I'm James. He's Mr. 69. We'll talk to you next week, guys.